So you brought statistics.
I think we should talk about stats.
Yeah, I kind of like stats.
Right? Because I think this is good engagements. We're hoping everyone engages with us. Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Lana,
And I'm Mark.
and we're here just to talk about real estate, small business, and just life.
Turns out most people who watch or listen haven't yet subscribed. If you could take a minute to do that, wherever you get your podcasts, we'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the show.
Let's go. This is just spring 2026.
Yeah.
This is what I've been finding. This is what I've been hearing about. So I wanted to give you this one stat, which is 1 in 3 home sellers are giving up that low mortgage rate. Remember the 2.75, the 3.1?
Yeah, buddy. I've still
And-
got my 3.25.
3.25.
Am I saying that right? It might be 3.75. It's been a while, but it's under 4. Yeah.
Nice.
I'd be hard pressed to walk away from that. 1 in 3 people are.
And so in my industry, real estate, obviously, selling and buying, and we felt there was going to be a pent up inventory because nobody's going to give up their house, right? So
Wasn't that a thing?
well,
for you
think about
guys?
it, right?
Yeah,
Because
okay.
what is that usually? It's usually a 3 to 5 year cycle. You know,
Yeah.
the first timers, they want to upgrade, and so we're like, okay, we'll see you in a couple years, right? We're going to come sell your house, and you're going to upgrade.
Right.
Well, then we realized this isn't going to happen because they're not going to do that.
They're not giving that up.
They're not going to give that up.
Yeah,
Why
they're
would they
putting
give that up when
yeah.
we are now what, sixes? So doubled?
Yep. Put an addition on the house instead. Probably cheaper. you keep that
EDUs.
mortgage.
Doing all that.
Mm.
But the thing that came about with this, and this is my little bag, is lifestyle changes.
Mhm.
And I have specifically sellers that have reached out and said, we were going to hold off. We love this mortgage payment, but we realized like we want to move out west.
Really?
Or we want to move. We got to get away from like we don't want all this land. Like seriously, all different reasons. Like their lifestyle change. We don't want to mow on the weekends our lawn. We don't want to be doing this. We want to be in a walking community. We want to be near water.
Yep.
Everyone let go of the ties. So just think 1 in 3 sellers that bought during that little crunch. Well, it was a big crunch. They're like giving that up now. But what's the cool part? They have huge equity.
Yeah. They must be sitting on a pile
Huge
of cash.
equity. Because when they bought, and their mortgage is so low, the amount of increase
Yeah.
of the value of their home.
Yeah, the market
Most
came up
of them.
an insane at least around here. We're in central Massachusetts. The numbers here are stupid.
Mhm.
If you bought,
Mhm.
I don't know, 10 years ago was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you're sitting on a pile.
Yes.
You could have bought a total dump.
Yep.
And you'd be sitting on a pile of cash right now. But you're talking about even more recently than I'm thinking.
Mhm.
So it used to be, if I have the stat right, it used to be that the average was every 7 years.
Yep. 5, 7. Yep.
So some people have told me that has like reverted to like 3 to 5, what you said a minute ago.
Mhm.
And then there was like this pause.
Mhm.
And I think you're right. I think the mortgage rates were part of that pause. But then what you're describing is people feeling this squeeze from just life. Life is kind of trumping the mortgage rate.
Mhm.
So they're still going to move.
And so think about this. So they it's all about affordability, right? So what did they do? They want their lifestyle change because they decide that just because we have a low interest rate and our payments are this,
Right.
we have money. We can afford to move right now because we have this equity. So let's take this equity. Yeah, we're going to be paying more because our interest rates, the pricing is a little higher, but we're going to take this chunk and dump it on there.
So yeah, are they actually doing that? That is my
Yes.
question. Like I feel
Yes.
like a lot of people would say they're going to do that.
No, they are. They are.
Oh, that's awesome.
They are.
So they're taking their equity and they're actually making a huge down payment.
Yes.
And buying down the
One
cost
other
of that
thing they're
next house.
doing, which I think that they should talk to reputable lenders, and we have great lenders locally.
We do.
is the lenders are actually helping with this by helping them either, I'm going to use the wrong words, a HELOC, equity line,
Yep.
pull it out, be available now,
Oh.
and then sell. So go buy your home first and then sell and pay off when you sell, right?
Oh.
So there's a lot of ways to do this because remember, we're trying to keep the contingencies down because we want to be a real buyer. When you
Yeah.
have a house to sell and it's not on the market, you're not a real buyer.
Fair.
If you have the house on the market and you don't have, or you're under contract, still not a real buyer, it's still iffy, right? But the lenders have been really successful and because the equity is there,
I feel like they used to poo-poo this idea.
there wasn't much there.
Okay. But now there's so much
There's
money
so
sitting there. They're like,
much.
hey, you know what? Go use it. Buy another house and then we'll worry about this later.
And also,
They're good with that.
keep in mind this. When people bought, they also couldn't spend any money. It was during the pandemic.
Oh, right.
We were 2.7, 3.2.
What do you mean they couldn't spend?
They-
These guys had Amazon accounts.
Right, but they were shut down. No one was going to dinner. No one was doing anything. So
That's
what were
fair.
they doing? They're socking money,
Okay.
right? So not only are they socking and saving, now they have all this equity. I'm going to tell you, every time I go to a seller, they're like, oh, my value is so big. And they think the value. But once I show them what they're going to net, they're like, we're going to dump that on our house. We can drop
Right.
our mortgage down. Now we can buy that house, probably not much bigger and stuff because of our values going up, but they can stay at the same mortgage payment.
That's awesome. Yeah, we did this math. We actually thought about making a move. We decided not to. Did I ever tell you my secret squirrel? Remember I had the secret squirrel idea that I didn't want to tell you about?
Oh, yeah. And you never told me.
Well, yeah. So I was trying to make it work and it didn't work. What it was is I was looking at buying a farm and it had a forest. Did I tell you this?
Mm-mm.
I did not.
Mm-mm.
And that's kind of how the math was working. Like at a certain point, we could use the massive amount of equity we're sitting on to kind of like buy something we didn't really think would be doable. I mean, like almost 40 acres. It didn't work out, but it definitely like got my wheels turning in a way that was like unusual for someone as frugal as me who like enjoys having a low mortgage payment. Like I am grateful for that every day. It's great. I don't have a problem with I don't need a big house. And we don't have a tiny house. We're okay. We're fine where we are. We just have to watch the clutter. That's all. With 2 kids.
Which comes with the kids.
With my hobbies or interests,
there it is.
like the clutter it's not Marissa. It's me and the kids. Definitely blaming the kids. But
true confession.
Yeah. I mean, we came darn close to doing that. And now I kind of get what you're saying because I definitely went through the mental exercise of doing that myself. And I wasn't actively looking. I had mentioned this years ago, like that I had these certain criteria for a way I'd love to live. And an agent who is dear remembered. And when she came across it, she's like, this is that thing. Do you remember that thing you told me a few years ago? And I'm like, I say a lot of things. What did I tell you a few years ago? She's like, the house is where you wanted it. The barn is where you wanted it. It's got the acreage and it needs a lot of work, which was a qualifier for me because I figured it was the only way I was going to be able to afford in that town. Yeah, it's stuck in her brain. And you talk about, like our last talk, we were talking about real estate skills. And I think that was a great example of listening skills. I said this offhandedly during an inspection to this agent several years ago. And it created an image in her brain and it stuck there. And then when she saw it years later, she just picked up the phone. Like,
you're so memorable.
I don't think it's me. I think she's really good at her job.
No, I think she's really good at it.
And she laid it out in a way that I was just like, oh man, I wasn't planning on buying a house, but now I'm thinking about it. That is somebody who's really good at their job. Like she wasn't calling just with every house she saw in that town. I never heard about it until it was right. And it damn near worked out. There were a couple of reasons that on my end, I just decided it wasn't the right move.
Yeah.
But
It's just a
was
stepping stone to something that's probably coming your way.
I don't know. It might have actually like my family's really happy we didn't make that. I didn't realize how much this was me and not my whole family. We originally wanted a farm,
Mm,
Marissa and I.
mm,
And then we didn't get one, and I didn't realize how much we'd evolved in different directions on that. So when this didn't work out, the relief my whole family, my children, my wife, and even my parents, who
mm,
had no skin in this game, like
mm.
they were all just like, "I'm really glad you're not doing that." And I'm like, "Oh, I guess I should have asked you guys how you felt about this too." Well, I just thought everybody saw what I saw. Like, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Well, that's
So
interesting.
I
It's really
learned a
good.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another statistic I want to share.
Yeah.
30% of current buyers in the last 2 years are re-entering the market after a pause. Now, let me explain what that
Yeah, please
is.
do. It's not quite landing.
So, buyers have called me out of the woodwork. Um, Started about more than 2 years ago. Left the market because it was so fast moving that they couldn't compete. So they jumped out. Still could qualify and everything. They weren't not qualifying. They
Okay.
couldn't handle either the heat, the energy that was going on, the
Yeah.
competition, or maybe their job changed, maybe something changed, maybe they realized they just don't want it. There's too much going on. So many factors, right?
Maybe that waiving home inspection crap,
Yeah,
and they were just like, "You know what? I'm not doing that."
100%.
And they waited. Good
Right.
for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people felt that. So now they're just entering back, but 30%. So when I talk to lenders right now, they'll say, "Oh yeah, I worked with them a couple years ago. They never bought anything. I worked a couple years. Yep, I pre-approved them before. Yep, I got all their stuff." So there's a lot of pent up
Yeah.
buyers
That's cool.
that have not bought. But I feel like this is a little bit of what's happening in the market in 2026, where my sellers always ask, "Is things moving and stuff like that?" Okay, well, listen to these people that they were in the market before. Now they're re-entering.
Yeah.
These are educated buyers.
Yes.
They want to
Yes.
know.
That's a good point.
They want to ask the questions. They want to make sure they get their inspection. They want to make sure they're covered.
Yep.
So there's a lot of education, and they're taking a pause, not for buying. They're just going out to find it.
Neat.
So there's a lot of
What
buyers.
an interesting result
Mm-hmm.
of that market.
Right?
People go from like fear of missing out to
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? I'm taking a step back. And when this is less crazy, but now they're seasoned. I do remember people saying a couple years ago that they put 40 offers in. 40.
Yeah.
Like that stuck in my head. 40. Can you imagine that? I don't know
But
if you were in that situation. Like,
of course. And the defeat, the anxiousness, the demand of every week and weekend going out. I mean, it used to be like go in, don't touch anything, right? It was all
all
that.
right.
Walk through, you got 5 minutes, make a decision. All right, you're going to throw in an offer. We liked it. No home inspection, no nothing. You didn't go back in the property until just before closing. I sold many properties with the buyer never even really had a chance to go through the whole thing.
That's a tough way to buy a house.
Very.
That's a really tough way.
So first of all, you had those buyers that were doing it out of a lot of different reasons, right? Desperation, they needed to find something, they were relocating, whatever the case may be. Then you had the buyers that were like, wait a minute, I'm not buying my first house, or this is not how I did it before.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. I want to step back and say, hey, listen, I need to get this checked out. And then they were calling you guys and saying, could you do a pre-inspection with me while I'm going to all my appointments?
No.
It's crazy. There was inspectors because they weren't working. Home inspectors were not working.
Yeah.
They would go to the open houses, and in that 5, 10, 15-minute window, they were doing a pre-inspection.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man.
so things have changed. But the good part
Thank
is they're
God.
back in. So people are like, what happened to all the buyers? Nope, they're back. So 30% of them are back.
That's a big chunk.
Yeah. And this was an interesting statistic that, and these are quick ones. Buyers not waiting for the mortgage rates to drop. I have not seen the buyers saying, "Oh, I'm just going to wait and wait and wait." I don't see that happening. I
Yeah.
think certain areas of this, the nation is has different things. We talk about environmental things, hurricanes, flood
Yeah.
zones, all that. Now that's going to be a different than where we are in Massachusetts, right?
Wildfires and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's so much that we don't deal with here.
Exactly.
We're in this cool little pocket of like,
Right.
yeah, okay, sometimes winter sucks.
But they're right.
No big deal.
But they're getting hit with, the insurance increasing. They got just things that they got to think about, right? So I think that the buyers here in Massachusetts, it's just a pent up. They want it,
Yeah.
and they're educated,
Yeah.
and they're going to find the house that fits
And
them.
now they're going and doing it. Very cool.
So this was the last little tidbit for 2026 here in the spring market is the buyers versus the seller markets.
Okay, I was hoping you're going to hit that one. I was reading it.
Are we in the seller's market or the buyer's market? Or do we have any flexibility or not? So this is really interesting. So 70 to 74% Northeast, which is us, Midwest, seller's market.
How does the Midwest get lumped in with us? Like, I don't know. I don't get the relation, but apparently they've got a very strong seller's market too.
And I think what we're thinking is like, what's happening in the Midwest? That could be another podcast.
I have no clue what's happening in the Midwest. So,
and what is considered
I'd have to do some
Midwest,
homework.
Right? No, seriously. Then,
no idea.
South, 56%. And 46% in the West say it's a buyer's market.
So almost 50. Yeah, okay.
Right? So it's a buyer's market, split. South, West. And then I don't really know 13%.
Just the remainder
Yeah.
of the Midwest and Northeast say it's a buyer's market.
Very tiny.
Where on earth
in
the Northeast is it a buyer's market?
It's little pockets.
Okay.
It's a buyer's market. Little pockets. And, I think it's certain towns and little areas that becomes a buyer's market. And I don't call it a full-fledged buyer's market because we don't have a ton of inventory. Right?
Yeah.
I think what they're talking about in Massachusetts anyways, and in our market area, is that the buyers have now some flexibility in negotiation.
Okay.
That's what I feel. And you do see prices, like people putting offers in less than the asking price. And it could just be because things on the outside, inside, whatever you guys find.
Yeah. But not a true buyer's market. I mean, people aren't just like
we don't have enough
around.
We don't have enough inventory.
There's no way there's enough inventory for that. No way.
I think it's pockets, though.
But maybe it feels a little bit more like a buyer's market when you can actually negotiate something.
Feels maybe like a neutral, stable market.
Okay.
That's what it feels like.
Neat.
So I hope you enjoyed all those stats from us.
I sure did.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Good stuff.
And we would love for you to comment and love your thoughts on any additional stats that you're finding in your area. I mean, if you're out in the Midwest, love to hear from you.
Clue us in. I know nothing.
I know, it'd be great. I'm Lana Kopsla. I can be found at Coldwell Banker Realty in Leominster. And my co-host here is...
Check out my Instagram, Wachusett Inspection, and Google me up. You can find me lots of places, but Instagram's the best one if you want to reach out.
Yeah.
School me on the Midwest, and be sure to subscribe. That helps us out. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks so much for listening.